the probably the biggest mistake, or the one that hurt me the most that I made, was I used the horizontal line for drawing my supports and resistances. And probably because it's a very nice, quick way to draw horizontal lines. You just, wherever you want to draw it, you just click once and it's there. Unlike the trend line, where you need 2 points, as well as the ray, and a lot of the other line types, the horizontal line is the only one that you can draw very quickly with just one click. But the thing that hurt me the most, because I thought I had learned the right way, was that the way I drew them was to look for the actual places where I saw the most touches. So if I draw attention to this chart, it looks like this area here in the middle has a lot of touches, both from top and bottom. So here's a touch from the bottom, here's a touch from the top. So the way I would visualize them is this candle going up and touching that line where it actually closed today. I would even consider this candle where it actually started at that point and then came back down. But those would be 2 touches for me right there. This would be a third touch, this candle, although it actually started there, but it closed way up here. These 2 wicks would also be touches. The intersection between the body of a candle, no matter whether it was green or red, and its wick would also be a touch. And that's how I would see that this level was a level of a lot of touches. So basically here, every single candle is a touch right there, touch right there, touch right there, the wick, the body, the wick, the body, the intersection between body and wick, the wick, the body. I might, no, not that one. That one's too far off. The body right there, that body right there. So I had in my mind here, there'd be about 15 touches. And then you keep going, and you've got this body, which is pretty close to it. You got the wick, which is pretty close to it. I had another body, which was pretty close right there, and another body right there, and then a body, a body, a body. You could see all the wick right there. And so basically what I would do is I would grab my horizontal line, and that's where I would see the most touches, and that's where I would draw the actual support and resistance line. Now, the moment where I started to notice that this was not okay was, if you look over here, this I have right here is a volume profile. And the volume profile basically tells you what level has the most trading volume for a particular price chart. So what this is saying is that even though these price levels have been reached here from 528 all the way to 510, even though there's been some trading going on in this area, it hasn't had a lot of volume. And even all these all the way up here, they haven't had a lot of volume. Now if you look at where I drew that line originally, that horizontal line, which is basically right there where it closed, is what I said. If you look over to the volume profile, there's not really a lot of volume. I mean, there is volume, but it's not the highest area of touches. And you can tell because this is basically the highest level of touches at 502, not at 492. And so I started drawing my support lines because this is where I would draw them, because this is what I would consider important touches. And I started noticing that it didn't always, and didn't even most of the time, didn't coincide with what the volume profile was telling me. So I guess I saw the same videos over and over. Some of them were from X-Trades, I believe it was Shinmoon or Timehawk, and maybe a couple other videos on YouTube. And then I realized, or I understood, that the significant support and resistance lines are actually drawn from pivots, or I guess the correct term is swing high and swing low. And the way you identify a swing high or a swing low, technically from what I have gathered is the strict technical definition of it is a swing low is where you have the candle at a low point and the two preceding candles are lower, or in this case higher, and the two posterior candles are also higher. So this is you could actually draw, let me get rid of this ray tool here actually, and I'm going to draw this, and this is probably not the way it should be drawn, but you can draw this line right here as a triangle, okay, and then you could draw the other one from here to here as a triangle as well. So basically what you end up with is this line of the triangle, which touches from the highest or lowest point on that candle to the next one, to the next one in a straight line, and the same goes for the other side of the candle. So that makes this candle the swing, and in this case low, because it's the lowest, or it is a low. So what you would do is actually draw this using a ray, and the reason why I say, or I suggest or recommend or use myself rays, it does take 2 clicks, which is kind of annoying, because then you have to kind of move a little bit to the side, and then if you don't do it exactly straight, your ray will end up looking like that, which you don't want, and then getting back into position is kind of, a pain, but there it is. So the reason I use the ray is because this will force, as it forced me, to realize, or force you to realize, that it has to be drawn from a swing low or a swing high. Whether if you try to draw it somewhere in here, you're not really starting from any particular point, which should be a swing high or swing low. You would just look for the line that has a whole bunch of touches, and that doesn't make it as significant, which is why my lines weren't working. So let me try to find another one. That was a swing low. Swing high would be this candle here. It has a 2 preceding lower and 2 posterior lower as well. So I would consider this a swing high and try to draw that ray. This is what I mean about rays. Okay, that's where I would draw that, and we could keep looking for swing highs and swing lows. If you looked at this one, there's 2 preceding candles right there and 2 posterior candles right there. So I would draw this, okay, and that one actually coincides with 2 levels. The first level is the point of control, the POC line, which is from a different indicator called from the volume profile, and the actual highest level of volume given by the volume profile. And if you look for the other highest levels of the profile, you could probably find the corresponding swing high or swing low. Here it is. Here's one swing high in this direction, which coincides with this higher point of volume profile, and this one as well. It's got 2 preceding ones that are lower, and it's got 2 posterior ones that are lower as well. So this is, in my opinion, the best way to do it. And sometimes you don't get the technical strict definition of a swing high or swing low. Like in this case, this is the lowest candle, and you got 2 lower candles down here, and then the next candle is indeed lower, but the one after that is not lower. It's actually it went a little bit higher. So technically this wouldn't qualify as a swing low, but in this case it's so far away from the current price that I wouldn't really draw it anyway. I wouldn't bother with it. I might try to find something better, like even this one here. So you have the 2 preceding ones, which are either probably at the same level or lower, and then you got the 2 ones after that. So I would even go for this one as a swing low before I bothered. Oh, this is what I don't like about this. before even bothering with this one, I would just go ahead and mark this one. And we're so far away from it anyway that it's got quite a few before it actually reaches. So like even this one would be one that I would mark right here as a swing low, because you can see that this candle has got the two preceding ones are lower and the two posterior ones are lower as well. So I would draw that as a swing before anything else. And here we've got the two ones, but this one I wouldn't technically draw it as one. At least not as a swing low. I would draw this one as a swing high instead, which is right here. So that's why I think rays are better, and that's basically it. Thanks for watching.